it's Andy again at Finlingo, and we're using the CFA Total Recall phone app to calculate the money weighted rate of return. Now, you would use this to assess an investment manager who can control an investment account and control the cash flows in, which is going to be a plus, and can control the investment flows out, which is going to be a minus. Once we've got all our figures, and the questions are typically quite simple on the CFA curriculum because there's a lot to do in a short amount of time, we can then calculate an internal rate of return on those cash flows in and out, which is the money weighted rate of return. Now, if any of those terms seemed unfamiliar to you, do watch the video linked to at the end where I explain in depth money weighted rate of return. I also will link to another video explaining in depth the internal rate of return. Anyway, watch those videos that we've produced. Let's just do the calculation quickly in a limited amount of time with the CFA Total Recall app. So let's go to reading 52, which is all the way down here. Oh, after 51, I know. Okay, there we are, Portfolio Risk and Return Part 1. Let's go down to the money weighted rate of return. I hope you like the icon there, a heavy weight for the anchor, and the little arrow suggesting a return figure. That's the best I could do at the time. So what we now have Emma Williamson. She's going to buy one share. She's going to put in $69 into the investment account. At the end of the first year, she's going to get $14 out, but at the same time, she's also going to buy another share for $79. At the end of the second year, she's going to sell both shares for $89 each, but just before she sells them, she gets two little dividends of $14. So we've got all the cash flows in, all the cash flows out. Now we can do the calculations. So, first of all, let's press remember it's an internal rate of return really in disguise, this question. So, cash flow, you can see there's some stuff in there, so make sure you get rid of all that stuff by pressing second clear work. We now have a clean sheet. So she buys a share for 69, so 69, that goes in. There we are. That's going into the investment account. Now let's move down to CO1, which is not carbon monoxide, but the end of the first year. So she's going to buy another share for 79 this time. So that's going into the account, but she's taking out a dividend of 14 at the end. So we take off 14 from that, and that's going to be CO1. So we enter that. Now let's move down to CO2. I've never used the F's on these calculators, so I don't even know why they bother with them, but I understand what they are, but let's just ignore FO1. CO2, not carbon dioxide, but the end of the second year. So what's going on now? She's going to sell both shares, so that's $89 each coming out, but just before she sells them, she's going to have $14 twice coming out too. The investment account is then empty. So this is all negative. So let's add that up. So that's 89 times 2. We're going to add on the two dividends. Now I know it's 28, but let me just do it properly. 14 times 2 inside brackets. And that's the amount of money coming out. Make sure it's a negative because it's money coming out of the investment account. And then we enter that. And now we can do the IRR. So we press IRR. Why it doesn't just calculate it immediately, I've never figured that out, but I have to press compute. 31.9896A. I think, looking at the calculator, I think that's going to be the top one, isn't it? A. Let's give it a go. Cross fingers, remember, always cross fingers. Yes! There we go. And then there's all the help you need to figure it out later on. Let's have a look at the next question. You're going to do this question for homework, by the way. So money weighted rate of return, and we can also look at the help as well. So in the help section, where you lose a life, unfortunately, that's the nature of the game. You get the equation, the official equation. You get a note about what money weighted return is, and then you get an example question to help you figure out how to answer the question. Anyhow, there we go. Money weighted rate of return. My name's Andy Duncan, and I'll see you next time.